Did you hear about the Pentagon's media roundtable that they held on March 6th about the upcoming UFO report? My guess is that you probably haven't, and there's a good reason for that. And that's because they've imposed an information embargo on any information related to the upcoming AARO Historical Report. Now, before I talk about how they're attempting to strategically influence the public's consumption and interpretation of the upcoming historical report on UFOs, I'd like to speculate on why AARO, a public-facing government organization that is committed to the greatest transparency and shared awareness with the public according to their vision statement, would be willing to contradict themselves and be complicit with an information embargo. My guess is that what's playing out right now before our eyes is an effort to control the focus of the immediate 24-hour news cycle as a means to shape the opinions of the public. Which is a quote that I pulled directly out of Susan Go's 2003 research project titled The Evolution of Strategic Influence. And of course, Susan Go is well known for having strategic influence over all the communications coming from the Pentagons in regards to UFOs, and was even seen shadowing Sean Kirkpatrick at a public speaking event late last year. So, if the Pentagon wanted to control the 24-hour news cycle immediately after the release of AARO's upcoming historical report, how would they do it? They'd probably start by holding an invitation-only, in-person, non-televised media briefing for a hand-picked few members of the press, like they just did on March 6th. They'd probably also deny any request to attend by news outlets that scrutinize the Pentagon's UFO investigation efforts, like News Nation, which they also did. And then they'd probably give that small group of hand-picked reporters an early copy of AARO's historical report before they give it to the public. That way, those lucky members of the media would have time to go ahead and write articles that could then be dropped at the same moment that the AARO historical report is released, immediately influencing the 24-hour news cycle. And those pre-written articles, as Stephen Greenstreet points out, would probably then be copied, pasted, and repeated by other news outlets that are rushing to cover the story that weren't given the benefit of having a 2-day head start. Which sounds like a great way to control the 24-hour news cycle, don't you think? Oh, and they're also releasing it on a Friday, which is traditionally when the government releases news that they don't want people to pay attention to. So much for transparency and shared awareness.